What's up, FishTube? Bearded Bob once again. Sorry, I've been gone for quite a while here. I had some stuff come up, just been busy, work and life and all that stuff. So I just figured I'd do a quick update here. I'm going to try to keep it under 10 minutes here. Just try to touch you up on what's been going on. Lots of stuff has changed here in the fish room. As you can see, in the last couple of months now, all these plants have totally filled in. This tank has been dealing with some pretty bad hair algae and some disease in with these guppies, so they just got done getting treated with general cure, 2 courses there. Here's all the male guppies. You can see the water wisteria in this tank has completely filled in. I've actually pulled an entire aquarium worth of water wisteria out of this aquarium, and it's down into this one now. This is where the goldfish is. It's blue. This is where the goldfish is going to be. Currently, the goldfish is over here in this 20-gallon tall, doing a good job of cleaning it out, getting rid of any snails and any shrimp that I have missed, because all of the shrimp that were in this aquarium have been moved over to this new 40-gallon breeder down here. And all this moss has grown in. This is how long it's been. I don't know that I ever showed you when I set this one up. This tank I actually drilled for the overflow, and it's set up on the automatic drip system, just like all the other tanks on this rack. I do have some male Blue Star Endlers in there. These ones I pulled out because they don't have a little red stripe on their tail like a couple of the males do in the 20-gallon lung that they're in. So they're just in here living for now until I figure out what to do with them. I'm trying to set up some more tanks so I can get some more shrimp and fish breeding. So that's this tank. This nobody's been fed yet. I just turned the lights on just to do a little filming here. Ooh, all kinds of dirt, water all over this aquarium here. This is the 55-gallon that houses all of my yellow neos. They've been doing really good. I've been culling quite a bit, trying to get nice bright yellow, trying to pick out any that have any splotches of clear or white, or there's some that come out of this tank that have a complete orange look as compared to all the other ones. They're definitely orange. So those ones have been going down into this tank here, and they've actually had their first set of babies, and some of them are looking okay. You can see that one there looks more yellow. There's a couple, these are about a month or 2 old now. There's another one back there climbing around. Some of them have a lot of clear splotches on them, so we're gonna start culling out of there. And in this tank also I have these peppermint endlers, and they're just starting to get colored up. I got these off of eBay. They're 10 of them for, I don't know, like 50 bucks or something like that delivered, and they're just starting to get some color on them now. You can see the one up in the top there starting to get some colors on them. Looks more of an orange, but a lot of them do have a pink like center line, lateral line. In this tank I have a pair of steak endlers that I purchased from Lucas Brett's, and I still have my colony of Blue Dream shrimp. They're just kind of breeding out right now. You can see some of them are a little bit less dreamy than the rest of them. Soon I'll be culling out of this tank, as soon as the other tanks that I have running cycling are finished with their cycle. Let's see if we can catch that male steak endler. Oh, there he is. Oh boy, I wish it would focus on him really good. He is just beautiful. So I've got one small male and one gigantic female, and she's been hit a few times now. She's starting to plump up. She should start having babies here probably in the next week or so. These are the rainbow tiger endlers that I purchased off of eBay as well. I did notice that one of these females that's in here is rather large, but she had a couple of fry already. You can see one of them on top of the moss there, a couple of them on top of the moss. But that female is not a true endler, and I don't really know if these are supposed to be crossed with guppies or not, but you can see her in the background there. She's got that orange on her tail. She is definitely crossed with a guppy. So these ones here are not K-class or P-class endlers. These are definitely K-class. But they're beautiful, so we're going to keep them around. There's that female, you can see her now. Oh boy, she's getting chased. I got to pull a couple of these males out of this tank. There's way too many males for the amount of females that are able to breed right now. Down in this tank, still just the sump. Lots of plants just growing in. This, whatever that stuff is, floating plant, that stuff has filled in quite a bit. That all came back from like a little tiny chunk. All these tanks are going to get their duckweed scooped today, because you can see it's preventing some water agitation. Starting to thicken up in there. All these plants and moss in this tank have just gone crazy, so we treated for some hair algae that I had in here. I used Excel, and that definitely took care of the problem. I dosed it, you know, the full dose, the initial dose, 2 days in a row, and then kind of kept up on it with the normal dose. Got a helper kitty. Helper kitty. Alright, so like over here we got this 20 gallon. This one's going to get torn down. I'm going to have 3 20 gallon talls right here. I'm going to pick up another 20 gallon tall today. I have one sitting over there. We have a cat on top of the aquarium. No, 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 no. Oop. And we set up a new rack. So this will hold one more 10 gallon and a 5 gallon on the side. And on the bottom, I planned on doing some bigger tanks. Not really sure exactly what I'm doing yet. And then on the top, it should hold 5 or 6 10 gallon tanks. These ones are cycling. I picked them up from the $1 per gallon sale at Petco a couple of days ago. I didn't drill these ones because I ran into some issues. I bought 2 tanks from Walmart, which is where I got those tanks there. Those ones drilled just fine. The 2 that I picked up from Walmart this last time, both of them shattered. Or not shattered, cracked when I was drilling. I'm pretty sure my bit was just dull and old. But I didn't want to take the chance of ruining 3 more aquariums. So I did not drill these. These just have mat and filters from Flip Aquatics set up in there. And these heaters are just temporary, just to keep the cycle going. I do have some nice Finnex heaters with the external adjustment thing coming soon, hopefully today. I just got some lights on here. They're just running 24/7 to get some algae going. Oh, looks like I did get a snail. I was trying to not have any snails in this tank, but I put in some rocks and some moss that were sitting down in this aquarium. And check out the size of this guy. I know that doesn't do it any justice, but that's how big that guy is. He is huge, and there's about 3 or 4 of them like that in this tank. There's another one up here, and another one over there. And because the goldfish has been out of this tank for a couple of days, all these guys have had babies, and the goldfish hasn't eaten them yet. Let me bring you to the Blue Star Endler tank. Hold on one sec. Well, first we'll touch on my son's little 10-gallon aquarium here. As you can see, he is being swarmed with guppy fry. We're going to have to get some of these out of there. Way too many to be in this little 10-gallon tank. But he wanted to make sure his tank got on video, so I thought I'd do a little filming here. He does have a couple of yellow shrimp. You can see one up there on the rock. Oh boy, and this thing just does not want to focus today. There it is. And that's that. Pretty nice tank. Here is the Blue Star Endler tank. Here's the little breeder box that I have on here. That's just got some small red shrimp that came out of my coal tank. And here is where all of the Blue Star Endlers, besides those couple that are in the other tank, are sitting at. These guys have been just breeding and breeding and breeding, and you can see there is... Ooh, where's that guy? Come here. These are the endlers that I'm trying to get to breed in here. They have like a little red stripe on their tail. Hold on one sec. Now there's 2 males in here that have a nice red stripe. There's another one right there. And that's kind of what I'm trying to get these ones to look like. I like the way that those look. The other ones have like either no stripe on their tail, or they have like a little bit of white or black. So trying to keep it more consistent here and breed for this gene. But there's probably about 50 fry in here right now. They're all over the place. Let's move that white back in there, you can kind of see. And then I also have been breeding red neocardinas in this tank too. These all came from my cull tank, and I've been selectively pulling out, you know, obviously ones that are more of a candy stripe, not solid red, or some of them have been yellow, a couple have been wild. And we're just going to keep this as a work in progress and get our own red line going. There are some very nice female red ones in here. So hopefully those will pass on some genes. I see one red shrimp in the back that's kind of a candy striper. But I do need to keep some males in this tank so that the breeding continues. So I'm really hoping that in this little breeder box we end up with some nicer males. You can see 1, 2, 3, or 4 red ones on the sponge in this little breeder box. And there's a bunch on the ground. I think there was 14 small red shrimp in here the last time I counted. So we're going to let them do their thing. When they get a little bit bigger, we'll put them in the main tank. That way I can kind of watch them and see which ones I want to pull to add to this tank. And then every day we sit in here for half an hour or so. We get a little container of water, something to scoop water with, and a little shrimp net. And we net out the ones that we don't want to keep breeding. And then same thing with the males. As soon as the males color up, if they don't have that red stripe on the tail, they also go into the same tank as the cull neocardinas go into. So that's the blue star Endler tank. As you can see, this water wisteria in the middle there, behind this red Alternanthia renickii, it went crazy. It took over probably half the tank, so I pulled a bunch of it out of there. I need to do a little bit more trimming. You can see all the roots hanging down and stuff, but it does give the fry something to kind of hide in, and there's tons of duckweed that definitely needs to be scooped today. Another project on the agenda. Blue Star Endler tank. And then by the end of the day today, I should have at least 3 more tanks set up on this rack, including one 40-gallon extra tall, 1 10-gallon and a 5-gallon on this part of the rack here, and our helper kitty. You're kind of in the way, huh? You're kind of in the way. And then this guy, once he's done munching on the snails in here, he'll go back into his little 30-gallon for now. And eventually we'll get him a little bit bigger tank. This one was leaking. I did try to reseal the top. It seemed like it was just leaking, you know, right from the top seal or somewhere right in here. So I did a little bit of resealing on it, and it seems to have kind of worked. I do still see some dripping, and this tank definitely needs to be taken down. The glass is kind of bowed. There's no center brace on these 30-gallon tanks. So like right here you can see the division, and I can kind of push that. That's not good. And then over here you can see how the gap gets smaller, and same thing on this side. So we'll do what we can. This tank definitely has to go away though eventually here. So that's kind of the quick and dirty update on this fish room. I know I haven't been on here for a while. Hopefully I'll start putting out some more videos again. I appreciate the time, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. The more subscribers I get, the more videos I'll start to make. And definitely hit that like button. Otherwise, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.